Hey everyone, it's Paris. I'm back with another video, fresh from Gamescom. I'm back home from Germany. Still a little tired, but what an amazing event it was last week to be able to attend Gamescom. And I wanted to get this piece of content out as soon as I could, and this is with Bungie. Fine folks over there took some time out of their schedule. The last day of Gamescom, as a matter of fact, it was my last interview and their last interview of Gamescom. So, when you hear this, you'll hear that all three of us are tired. And I had the great pleasure to meet and speak with Orvar Halldorsson. He is the UI and UX director over at Bungie. And of course, Dague, who you guys know I've talked to many times over the years. He is always just a great interview to talk about the world of Destiny, and more specifically here we're going to talk about Shadowkeep. Kept it pretty casual. I didn't try to go too hardcore with the questions or anything. I kind of just wanted to just get like the overview of where they were going with Armor 2.0, what the difference was going to be between Shadowkeep itself and the Season of the Undying, and then just kind of where their excitement is with all these new changes that are coming to Destiny 2 here over the next few months. So I'm going to stop yapping right here. I'm going to turn it over to the interview with Orvar and Dague, and we're going to talk about Destiny 2 and Shadowkeep. This is Paris. Thank you guys for listening to this interview.
My name is Orvar Halldorsson. I'm the UX director at Bungie.
Thank you for taking some time to talk to me, and Dague is here too, so I'm sure he'll chime in at some point.
Guten Tag.
Okay, so Shadowkeep, Destiny 2. I'm very excited for this because you're doing some changes to the game coming October 1st that I feel is going to fundamentally just change the way that we play the game. And one thing that you debuted here at Gamescom was the artifact and the mods that are coming with the artifact. So can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the mods that are coming are going to be part of the Armor 2.0 system. They're going to come in general and region-specific and then artifact flavors. So there's going to be a lot of interesting things to do to kind of like, set things up for your Guardians. This is all gearing towards us just becoming more of an RPG-based game. We think this is a very exciting first kind of step towards that direction. It's going to just have to kind of like be revealed how players are going to react, because there's going to be a lot of things that will change the meta in interesting ways. Yeah. I am personally excited to just see how players will react, how they're going to start to kind of like really figure out the best ways to tune things. They're going to create guides and recommendations for how to set things up to work really well with certain situations, with certain damage types and certain weapon classes. So that's going to be the excitement on my end, is that we really are just putting into the hands of the players to really just kind of like show us, what works and how are they going to change their behaviors in combat based on this new system.
Now, I really want to get into Armor 2.0, and this could be the jet lag or it could be a Professor Broman video that I watched this morning, but what's this with the artifact and the seasons, and now there's going to be an uncapped power limit? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, so the kind of like the soft cap is going to be 960, but then you will get power bonuses from the artifact. The artifact is valid within the season itself, right, and then it goes away at the end of the season, and there's going to be a new artifact that comes the next season after. So this is going to be the thing that allows players to kind of go above the cap, and so that's why they're kind of referring to this uncapped, because there's going to be ways to get it up. Now, you won't be able to infinitely get it up because, of course, a season is only for a certain amount of time, and so there's going to just be
that time period,
that natural like cap. But we don't actually know what that cap is. That's going to be the thing that will be exciting to see what players can achieve. They've often surprised us.
Okay, now Armor 2.0. This is what truly has me excited about what you have coming, because I think just since the inception of Destiny and just, what are we in, year 5? I don't know, 2014, whatever it's been. There's always been that balance of, I have to have the most powerful gear, I have to have the most powerful armor, but I look like a hot mess as far as the way my Guardian looks, right? Because it's about clearing the raid or whatever I'm trying to do versus looking pretty. It really got to the point in Destiny where I literally had my tower outfit, just so when I was in the tower, I could look cute in the tower versus when I'm actually going out in the world doing something. But what you're doing with Armor 2.0 and more specifically by breaking things up into the mods and the energy system that goes with that. Not to mention, they're called ornaments, right?
Yeah, the universal ornaments.
That's what has me excited, because like you said, this is kind of that first step into making this an RPG. And just when I watched that live stream, because at first I wasn't understanding it, but watching the live stream, it really clicked for me. I go, okay, I see what they're doing here. I can have my fashion show, but I can also have these multiple builds depending on the type of encounter that I'm going into. Not to mention, now you're allowing me to play that I want to play. So can you talk a little more about Armor 2.0 and exactly what Guardians can expect?
Yeah, I mean, the two kind of aspects is the appearance as well as the loadout. And so you're going to be able to really just like do both of those things without having to compromise one or the other. So if you want to make sure that you have like the perfect loadout to go into battle, the ornaments are universal, so you can apply the ones that you really like to make you look the way you want to look. And then the loadout can still be the one that is appropriate. And then you're going to do more of the changing of the loadout on the existing armor rather than having to kind of force yourself to have like multiple different armor pieces. And it's going to be very cheap to make changes. And once you get a mod, you kind of own it. It's not a consumable anymore. So players are going to have a lot of fun, we believe, with just kind of like making different changes between different activities. And it's going to be super cheap. Like it's like 500 glimmer or something like that to swap between them. And so that's going to become much more common, is to just be willing to try different things out. Like, okay, I'll try this mod now and see how that performs. Okay, next encounter, I'm going to try this other mod. So that's going to be something that we believe is a new behavior, and it's going to be exciting to monitor.
I haven't even talked about Shadowkeep or Season of the Undying yet. I will in just a second, but one last thing on the Armor 2.0, specifically with the mods, where we're going to be able to get those in the world. I'm sure there's going to be more common ones you can find doing things, but you can expect some to specifically come from things like raid activities, Nightfall, things of that nature.
Yeah, there's going to be, once you get from the gunsmith, you're going to get mods from world drops. Yep. The more pinnacle ones you'll get from more pinnacle activities, and so definitely the higher tier things are gonna drop higher tier things that are going to help you even more in those specific activities.
Even the Nightfall has new options you can use to select your intended difficulty. So if you select a more difficult version of the Nightfall, you're also going to be earning some of the new currencies from these new economies that enable you to use those systems and to upgrade your Guardian.
Okay. Now, Shadowkeep, the whole reason we're here. So from what I took with the second trailer that you had here at Gamescom, Shadowkeep is kind of the entry into this, and is it fair to say once we, quote-unquote, get past the campaign of Shadowkeep, that kind of opens up Season of the Undying? What's the difference between the two?
So the difference is Shadowkeep has, like the story of the Eris Morn, there's the Hive, whereas Season 8 is more around a story about Vex.
Right.
There's going to be some very interesting things that are going to get revealed to players as they play through it that we don't really want to spoil. But the thing we're really trying to do now, as we've kind of like experimented with different models of releasing content, is we want to make it so that going from one season to the other makes sense from a narrative standpoint. Like the story is going to tie together in some way and kind of like bridge over in a way that makes sense. And so that's really what we're excited to do now, is to see how we can tie those things out a little bit more.
Yeah, the community will begin the Season of the Undying. Similar to the way that the curse was unleashed on the Dreaming City with the completion of the Last Wish raid, we are very interested in exploring ideas where the community has an impact on the world. Destiny is a single evolving world, and the things that the players do have consequences. Lasting consequences, like the death of Cade, or like the unleashing of the curse, or things like that. It's more interesting if the world of the game changes over time, and it's more personal for the player if they feel like they had some hand in doing those things. These are the themes that we're exploring and playing with, and these are the things that we really always wanted Destiny to be.
Yeah.
All the way back to like 2013, when we first saw a public event happen and a fallen ketch spawned in the atmosphere and knocked over the gantry with the colony ships on board.
Yes.
And people said to me, when I go and I find that colony ship, I want to see it on the ground like that. And I thought, well, that's just crazy. Like, we can't do anything like that. But we're really in a place now where we can make the world of the game feel alive. And we can do things where people feel like the things that they do in the game have meaning and have weight and have consequences, and I'm really excited about that.
No, I am too. And just to add on to what you were saying, I guess that's what has me excited about the future. Like, I think the moon, obviously, you're remaking the moon. It's a reimaging of what it was in Destiny 1. But, and please correct me where I'm wrong here, I look at the Dreadnought as kind of the beta, and the Dreaming City being that 1.0 of giving us this in-game space, I should say, that you're constantly going to revisit. And like Dague said, we're the community, we're the ones that are actually impacting what's happening in there, and it's changing over a cycle. So I would imagine with Shadowkeep and the moon, we could see something similar as far as the moon itself kind of being an in-game destination for Destiny 2 with Shadowkeep.
Yeah, I mean, what we've really done is, like, we've always learned something new and very kind of valuable every time we release an expansion. And one of the things that we've definitely seen with Forsaken was how a destination like Dreaming City was just, received well by players, where they kind of felt like there was these things that would happen in the world that kind of made some kind of a sense in the story. As players would do things, certain things would kind of like evolve and change. There was just a lot of things that they could do within the spaces that were available to them. Like, there were these like lost sectors, there were these like secrets, and there was a bunch of things that you could kind of chase long after you had kind of still explored all the different regions. There were always some things to still discover. And so we really wanted to kind of like use that learning and kind of apply it to the moon. So even though the moon is going to have a very nostalgic kind of familiarity associated with it, there's a lot of things that are going to be new, and all these new kind of things that we've introduced since the moon was in D1, like the lost sectors and a lot of the different activities, are all going to be there. And there's going to be a lot of new areas that players have not seen. And of course, there's going to be all these things that are kind of hidden away through the mystery of the story around Eris Morn and these nightmares that she's encountering. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty exciting destination that's going to have a lot of these kind of ritual activities that players have come to expect from recent expansions.
Okay, final question. This is for both of you. There's been a lot going on with this game in the past few months. I mean, cross save activated while we've been here in Germany. For better or for worse, right? Yeah. But I'm just curious your thoughts, maybe even just your personal thoughts on this. I mean, how excited are you for the future of everything you're doing? You're doing cross save. You got New Light coming out, which is this free to play, which I personally think is just going to be such an influx of new players coming in. You're going on Stadia, which we'll see what happens with that in the future. How is that going to work out? And then obviously you're radically changing the way we're playing the game with Armor 2.0 and the mods and the artifact, and how the seasons are now their own entity now, where you play, where you don't necessarily have to play Undying. You could skip it, come to the next season, and you can continue from there. So just from a personal standpoint, how are you feeling about the future?
I mean, I think it's never been a better time to join Destiny as now, and it's going to be really easy for me to recommend it to a friend. It's going to be such an easy entry. You just tell someone, hey, go give it a chance. You don't even have to like pay anything. You just go play it, and they're going to have all this content available to them. Everything that we released in year one of Destiny 2 is going to be playable. So there's going to be so many things that they can try out. We've completely revamped the new player experience through New Light, where players are going to be able to get introduction to the game in the way that we believe is shown in the best light, pun intended. And then they're going to and then they're going to be able to basically see a little bit of everything that the game has to offer in a very short amount of time, and then jump into some of those activities with her friends that have gotten to play everything already, instead of having this model that we used to have before, where it was a lot of effort to actually like get a new person to kind of join you and be able to do something that's relevant to you. You had to kind of walk them through all this content before they could get to the point that you were already at. So I'm very excited about that, because that means we can really just like get more friends playing with you, because Destiny is really the best playing with friends.
100%. Yeah. Absolutely.
I have always admired the way this community interacts with itself. I've always been grateful for the fact that the Destiny community is welcoming to new players. We're taking that positivity now and we're letting it off the chain. We are unleashing it in some bold new ways. I mean, there are going to be so many people that say, New Light, free on Steam, I'll give that a try.
Yeah.
Or PlayStation or Xbox. I mean, you're going to be able to take your first steps into this larger world for free. And then you're going to be able to discover it at your own pace. Maybe you make some social connections. I hope upon all hopes that you end up joining a clan. I'm going to be able to interact with people who play this game wherever they thrive, which is what our community management strategies are. Whether you're on Bungie.net or Reddit or Twitter, soon coming to Discord, we like to meet the community on their own ground and interact with them there. It's been difficult for me to do that with a progression path that was separated on every platform. Almost impossible. Now I can, on my PC at work, play a strike with some people I've never met. I can go home that night and I can tell my old Xbox Live clan, check out what I won at work today.
Yeah.
You know, I can go and I can, visit with some of my favorite people on PlayStation 4. Be like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Like, carry me to some Crucible wins. To have a unified adventure on every single platform, to have a world where we can visit each other. New Light means Crucible with anybody in this community, or Gambit, or whatever you want to, or whatever is included in New Light. Obviously, the premium content, like the new raids and things like that, somebody might install New Light and play through it and get everything they can out of it, and then they can just help themselves to one season with all these questions about being content complete. We're making Destiny more accessible. We're making Destiny a game that lets everybody decide their own level of engagement. At the same time, the possibilities for customization and for everybody to really find their uniqueness as a hero, I think we will look back at this moment a month from now, or 2 months from now, after we've had a real chance to really get used to it, and say, I really can't believe how different it feels to be a Guardian right now. There are so many more possibilities to interact with other people and to combine my strengths with other people's strengths, and I'm looking forward to that. And then in November, when Stadia comes out, it'll be fascinating for us to really discover how people take this game with them throughout the adventures in their real life.
Again, gentlemen, I'll just say one last thing on what you said, Dague. It's been amazing for me because I've been there since the alpha, right? And I've seen all the ups. I remember the loot cave back in the day, just everything that has happened in this game, good, bad, and the ugly, right? But to see where you've taken it now in the past few months with these changes, like you said, it's bringing everyone together. Because like even this morning, just looking at Twitter and looking at cross save once it started working, and the excitement that people were having, like people were posting, I finally got to do my first PC raid with the crew, or I just went to Xbox for the first time. Here's my Steam tag, here's my gamer tag from Xbox or whatever, because we haven't had that opportunities before. Like me personally, I played on PlayStation because that's where the exclusives were. So that made my decision back in 2014.
Right. No more exclusives.
There's no more of that. So I've never played Destiny on Xbox. Never. And we're Gamertag Radio, and I've never played Destiny on Xbox. But now I can. And, I had dabbled with PC already, but now I can. As soon as I get home, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm hopping on PC. I'm taking my PS4 progress, going on PC, and playing with my clan that's been on PC, begging me to come over. I was like, no, dude, they said cross-save. Wait till they do cross-save. I'm going to come in. So the future looks bright. I'm happy and proud to be a part of this community. I probably tweet and talk about it too much as it is, but
not at all.
yeah,
you can do it more.
Yeah, I can do more, right? No, but the point I'm saying on that is just I like the game for everything that it is, and it's not perfect. I mean, no game's ever going to be perfect, but like you said, Dague, this has been the best gaming community I've ever been a part of, because people have reached out and, like you said, walk you through a raid, take you on a strike or whatever. And yeah, look, we're like a family, so there's going to be arguing and things that happen along the way. But the great thing about it is this community always rallies together, and you just can't ask for anything more. So that's it. That's the interview. This is my last one for Gamescom. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I will see. What's it? See you Starside? Is that what I should say? I saw a Bife out there, so I want to say a Bife clip.
See you Starside.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we're done.